welcome to my new house. This is the conservatory where I'm sitting with the garden behind me. Yeah, it's exciting to I think this is a nice location actually to do the filming. Yeah, there's lots of little corners in this house, and I want to discover, nice places to sit. But this is lovely, unless it's really hot, then it gets a little bit too warm in here. But what's really nice is when it rains, to sit in here, and you can hear the rain above you, and you can open the doors, and you're kind of safe from the rain. But yeah, it's kind of a dramatic and nice feeling. I'm about the least organised I could possibly be today for this podcast. Things have been really chaotic, as is always, I guess, with a move. But there are always things that you can't plan, and you never know how things are going to be when you do something like this. So I'll tell you how things have been with this move. It's been kind of crazy. So we're now actually living in this house we've been living here for a week. We moved in 3 weeks ago. That's when we got the keys. And 2 weeks ago our furniture arrived. So each weekend there's been something happening. And at the beginning of the month I started to suddenly get this horrible feeling that I might be making a mistake. I'd only been feeling excited up until then, and then suddenly I thought, I'm leaving this flat that I love. I've never lived in the country before. Is this the right thing? And it was a really strong feeling. I started to feel quite sad about leaving Berlin. But at the same time I was still excited about coming here. And when we actually did get the keys, it was really crazy, a crazy day. The people who lived here before were still here, and they still had loads of stuff in the house. So we were told to get here really early, and I was imagining sort of having a nice coffee with the people who lived here before, and handing over the keys and wishing each other luck and that sort of thing. But instead we got here and they were both sweating, trying to get everything packed into their car, and we had to kind of hang around for 3 hours while they got their last bits together. And we didn't really get a chance to say anything to them because they were in a stress. And anyway, I can imagine that it can be like that, especially when you've lived somewhere for so long. We moved from a flat, so it's not the same amount of stuff and amount of years that we've been there. But that kind of was a bit, I don't know, it wasn't a nice welcome. And then because they were in a rush, they didn't have time to clean anything. And I just felt like in the first few days, I started to really think, I don't think I can get this place clean. It's okay cleaning up your own stuff, but when, I don't know, there's something about like other people's dirt, it just kind of gets under your skin, and you just feel like, I don't know, it was really disgusting. Like the toilets were disgusting, the kitchen was dripping with fat, the oven, I had to spray out the oven about 6 times, and leave it for some hours, and then still there was fat coming out of the oven, and I just started to think, is this the right, this isn't a nice start at all. Then there was a big thunderstorm. So just when we got our internet set up, a big thunderstorm came, and I don't know where the lightning struck, but there was this sudden kind of flash, and our fridge broke, the internet connection went down, and the heating and hot water also was broken. So it meant that we had to have cold showers, and it was. I was just really thinking, like, what is going on? Like, why isn't this working out? So for the next few days, Hendrik was at work, and me and Luca were here on our own, and I felt kind of lonely. That I didn't see anyone for 3 days. There was no hot water, we couldn't keep any food in the house because the refrigerator was broken, and I couldn't contact anyone because I had no internet. and it was just kind of hard. And the other thing that happened is that because there'd been a thunderstorm and then it became really hot, there were mosquitoes all over the place, and that's one thing I really have to get used to is insects. I mean, I don't have a fear of insects, and I'm really kind of, I don't like to kill them either, but I've been living in the city up until now, and I just have not experienced this type of, I mean, like the spiders you get here are like in another league from the ones in Berlin. But also since then I've kind of learned, well, first of all, I've learned not to be so shocked when I see a huge spider. But the second thing is that I think when I first came here, I was so excited to be in nature. I opened all the windows and doors and just kept them open the whole day, which is not really a good idea because insects come in. So I'm kind of learning like how to deal with country life, and yeah, so anyway, after all these kind of dramatic things that happened in the beginning, it was then time to go back to Berlin, do the last things in our flat, just the cleaning and so on. There was no furniture in there anymore, and just say goodbye. And luckily I was kind of given the chance to spend an evening there on my own. We arranged it that Hendrik would look after Luca at my mother-in-law's flat, and I would go over and do the last bits of cleaning. And I was really glad that I had that time. I mean, first of all, I was astounded at how emotional I was. I think I cried the entire time I was there, just thinking, I'll never see this place again. I'll miss the tree outside near the balcony. I'm gonna miss the sunsets. Another thing is that Luca was actually born in that flat. I had a home birth, so maybe that also gave me some kind of really strong emotional connection to the place. And it was, you know, the place where he had his first years, took his first steps, said his first words and so on. So yeah, I've never felt that way before about leaving a place. It's always kind of been time to go. Yes, a little bit sad, but nothing like that. Then on the day where we had to hand over the keys, the three of us went there alone. Everything had been done. We had a moment just for us. And I don't know why, but it was so powerful to just that we all stood there, we held hands, and we said, thank you to this flat for all the good times. We wish also the future, you know, that the people who move in here are just as happy as we were, and that the flat, you know, let us go, and hopefully we can take that happiness to the new place. And I don't know, we since then I kind of feel like a lot more peaceful. We came back here then, and that was it. Now this is our place. We don't have anywhere to go back to. There's no turning back. Then slowly everything got fixed, yeah, we're starting to learn, and the place is a lot cleaner now. We've been painting. There's been a lot that we've had to do, but that's nice because then you kind of you make it your own. Yeah, it's still early. I still feel quite uprooted, but I think I can see the future ahead here. And when I see Luca playing in the garden, I know that it's the right thing for him. I mean, even when we were back in Berlin last week, we stayed the night at my mother-in-law's house, and the next morning I took Luca out on his bicycle to go to the local park, and we had to go past two men who actually just sat on the pavement, passing a bottle of whiskey to each other with all kinds of horrible things around them, and you know, we had to kind of go around them. Luca wasn't bothered, but I just thought, you know, it's not necessarily a healthy environment for him, and it's so much nicer to know that here he has, yeah, just things that he can discover. I mean, frogs. He saw frogs for the first time, dragonflies, and he's curious about all of these things. Yeah, so I really think that things are just going to get better and better. So having told you all of these crazy things that happened this month, you can probably imagine I didn't have that much time for knitting. However, I did get some done, and I'll show you that just now. It was great to be given a chance to sort out all my knitting, and I said before that, you know, just looking, and I found projects that I'd abandoned, and I've got all of those here now. So I've sorted everything out into things that need finishing and things that I'm not going to finish. I've got actually 3 cardigans on the go. I'm only working on the one for the knit along at the moment, but the others that I definitely have in mind, which I'll show you in a minute. My to-go-to project during the move was this, because it's just stockinette, and you know, when I didn't really know what was going on when I need to suddenly put the knitting down, it was a great project to have. But you know, there's still a way to go on that. That's the Bonnie by Tin Can Knits. But I think I love the color. I mean, this yarn has been something where, you know, it's had to find its right place. I think this is the right project for it. I really hope so. And then I had this sweater for Luca. This is slow because, I mean, he doesn't actually need it at the moment, but I did finish the first sleeve. So I only need to do one more sleeve, then it's done. But mainly I've just been working on the cardigan for the knit along. But I'll show you my other 2 cardigans. One of them you already know. And I look forward to getting on with that after I've finished the one for the knit along. But I'm really not going to do anything on it until that other one is finished. And then there's this one that I started a while back, actually last year, where I made a mistake, and then I kind of got frustrated and decided to put it away. And I'm going to get going on that again, because, you know, it's the middle of summer, yeah, but by the time I finish this, you know, it will be autumn, and it will be good to have those done. Yeah, the only other thing is my cardigan, which is for the knit along, which I'll show you next. So I'm hoping to get more done on this month, and I think that that's definitely going to be the case. I mean, it's with a move, I'm actually impressed with myself. I really put myself in a. There were times where I said to myself, I really have to, you know, stop packing boxes or stop cleaning this place and sit down and do some knitting, which was actually really nice. It's like therapy. But still, I mean, considering how much time I had, it's not a great deal that I've done. So it's just the top part. And I'm on the stage now where I need to pick up stitches here. But I'll show you the lace pattern, if you can see. And then it was picked up stitches along here, ribbing at the top. So basically now it's to pick up more stitches here, start separating things for the sleeves, then to do the body. So again, it will be a bit more relaxing knit. Now there'll be a bit more stockinette, which I can pick up and put down. Yeah, and I mean, I couldn't find things. I mean, like this, look, this is my, I have got stitch holders somewhere in a box, and this is actually a piece of cardboard that I cut out so that at the ends are, it works, because I could only find one. I'm really pleased with it, and I love the yarn. This hand-dyed here in Berlin, actually. Anyway, I'll put in the show notes which yarn this is. It's a lovely colour. Korb, it's called, because that means basket in German. Yeah, so I think we're all, well, I mean, you guys are doing probably a lot better than I am, and I know that there's a couple of people who finished already. I wasn't able, because I didn't have internet for some time, I wasn't able to check as often, but whenever I did look in, it looked like, you know, people were making amazing progress. And I hope also to really catch up this month. I really want to get this finished, and I think it's possible, definitely. I'm also super excited because the designers of this cardigan is called Lush. It's by Tin Can Knits. It's from the Handmade in the UK pattern book, and they're actually going to be giving prizes for this knit along. So the first prize will be a pattern book, a pattern ebook of choice. They have a few, and the second and third prizes will be a pattern of your choice. So I mean, I think that's like amazing. I love their designs. Like I could really knit all of that. I mean, everything in the Handmade in the UK book, I have kind of earmarked. I've got 2 of them on the needles already, and I'm now looking at some of their other patterns as well. I mean, I think that it's really straightforward to follow. I mean, as long as you can knit, you know, I think that the instructions are clear. I love the way that this cardigan is constructed. It's a little different from anything I've knit before, and I must say that at the beginning I was kind of worried that I'd find it difficult, but it's not difficult at all. It's just different, and it's really nice. It's really interesting to see how the cardigan, how it turns into a cardigan from this strip of lace, and yeah, I'm really enjoying it. So yeah, keep going on that. You're all doing really well. And I'm thinking of the next craft along. Although it didn't go very well last time to do a sewing challenge, I want to, because it's like something that I do, I want to do another one. And it doesn't matter if not that many people join in. I mean, of course I love when people do join in, but yeah, I think it's nice to sometimes do sewing challenges as well. And this one is a little bit knitting related, because it's to make your own project bag for a knitting project. Now there are so many different designs out there, and I kind of have a passion for making project bags at the moment. I've never made the same one twice, and I'm really sort of experimenting with the different designs. I mean, I've considered making a few and maybe selling them, but I want to enjoy what I do. It's really, I don't want to do things for pressure, or and at the moment I'm picking out different designs and maybe seeing which ones work and which ones I like the best. I think I showed you that I made a little mini one. This is a Japanese knot bag, and all of these you can find online if you want to try out any of these designs. This, if you Google Japanese knot bag, there are definitely a few different ways to make this, and I won't say which one I prefer, because I think it's different for different people. There are some where you have to turn it inside out through the handles, and then there are others where you actually seam them at the top. It really depends on your level and also which you prefer. So I mean, I would just check out the designs out there and see what you think is feasible, but all of them, you know, that you can print out the pattern and so on. That's a knot bag. This is like a normal project bag, like the kind that you usually get with a zip, but it's pleated, and I found that to be really nice. Yeah, because it kind of sits well, and also it gives you a bit more room to stuff it full if you need to. I will link the tutorial to this, because it's actually in German, but it's subtitled, and it's very, very easy to follow. I don't think anyone would have any problems with it, so don't be put off by the fact that it's in German. It's a lovely project bag, and I think even if you're a beginner sewer, as long as you have the patience, you could make quite a nice one of these. But yeah, there are all kinds of others, and I want to try out a new design, so I'm not going to do one with a zip like this, or a knot bag. I'm going to do something else, but that will be for October, because the knit-along goes until the end of, no, hang on, I'm getting confused now. No, the knit-along goes until September, so this will be for September until October. And yeah, I told you before about the new, it's kind of a little bit like Ravelry, it's called My Sewing Circle, and I will host sew-alongs on there. So if you're interested, then you then just, it's easy to make an account. It's like Ravelry, and because then that way the two don't get confused. I don't really have anything to show you that I've been working on that isn't yarn crafting related, but that's not to say I haven't been doing any other crafts. I mean, most of it is related to the house. I mean, I've been painting. I've painted 2 bathrooms, and I chose an interesting colour combination which my mother-in-law hated. She was like, oh, you can't paint a bathroom this colour, it's too dark. But it was kind of a really dark plum colour, and then I matched it to the cupboard, and I think these 2 colours go together really well. It's kind of like a blue, kind of an icy blue with this dark plum. I think it just looks amazing, and the bathroom is small anyway, so I know this theory about like the walls being brought in by a dark colour, but if it's a bathroom, I don't really care. I mean, I don't really care if it seems smaller. I wouldn't do it in the living room, but yeah, so the one bathroom is with the plum on the walls and the icy colour on the cupboard, and the other room I've done the other way around, because yeah, I mean, having put all of our money into this place, we don't want to buy a bunch of new stuff, so their bathroom cupboards are a bit old, but it was fine because I think just painting them makes them look fresher. Yeah, they are kind of, you know, they're not brand new, and inside maybe they're not, they don't look that great, but they'll definitely do for now. And having had a little makeover, I think it looks great. So I'm really pleased with that. We painted the living room together, a sort of sandy colour with a more of a kind of cappuccino colour for the chimney breast. That looks really great as well. I'm pleased with that. And at the moment we're working on the kitchen, and I'm going to do the same thing that we can't afford to get a new kitchen, so we're just going to take the cupboard doors off and paint them. And we couldn't agree on the colour with this, but we've taken a sort of purpley blue, and the walls are going to be cream. So yeah, mainly my other things have been based on home decoration, and I enjoy that actually as well. Then there'll be the little bits, like putting things on the walls, and those are the bits that I'm really looking forward to, but that comes later. Maybe we'll get to do some of that this month. The other thing I have to learn is gardening, which is a little bit scary. I've never really done any gardening. This house is actually in a woods. It's a kind of, this was a forest, and it still is, and it's not that they haven't really carved out roads and put, they're just kind of tracks through the forest, and there are houses every sort of scattered around. So it's not really a village. I don't know what you would call it really, but it's like a forest neighborhood. But that doesn't mean that there isn't any sun. I mean, you can maybe see behind me, yeah, there are a lot of trees, and it does mean that you know, that it isn't like one of those places where you get the sun beaming down on you. But we've seen really nice sunsets here still, not quite like the ones on the 4th floor in Berlin. It's a different kind of sunset. It's more natural here, but still very nice. So I don't feel that we're missing out on the sun. But still, I think that if we don't keep up this garden, it could get a bit wild. So I need to learn. because already I can see that a garden is one of those things that just can really slip through your hands if you don't keep it up. We've got blackberries as well in the garden, and they're just out of control. But on the other hand, I like the idea of having fruit in the garden. So I don't know, all of this we have to learn and see if we can kind of fit that into our routine. It's a lot more work for sure, being in a house, but it's fun work. There's a difference between work that's a pain to do and work that you enjoy, definitely. So yeah, I don't really have anything to show you there, but hopefully my descriptions were, you can imagine how things look here or how things are taking shape. And maybe, yeah, I should take some pictures maybe and post some pictures. Yeah, and reading is also not really happening. I told you I started Stardust by Neil Gaiman, and I actually haven't finished that yet because I just haven't had a chance to read. And also we just really haven't watched anything. We're absolutely exhausted at the end of the day from all the work that we're doing here, and usually we just get an early night. So yeah, thank you for listening to my stories this time, and yeah, there wasn't as much to show this time, but yeah, I really hope to catch up, and I'm determined to get that cardigan done for next time. Until then, you guys keep up the good work with your cardigan, and yeah, I look forward to giving you the next update next month. Until then, goodbye.